please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching our station at the entrance to Main Street, USA, gateway to the 7 scene lands of the Magic Kingdom.
Welcome aboard the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. This is Justin Monorail, and this is episode number 205 of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. We've got Disney news today. We've got Universal news. We've got a little bit of SeaWorld news and a very special segment coming up at the end, backed by popular demand M34D. But we can't get into any of that goodness until we welcome in the co-host, the monorail co-pilots, the stars of the show. We all know I'm just here to just make sure things stay on the track. The real stars are the next two people that I'm about to introduce. And we will start with the one who I think just finished her delicious pastry. It's Stephers! Stephers, welcome back to the monorail.
Hello, it is me. I've never really left. I sleep here. I eat here. What's another thing? I poop here. Oh my god, could you imagine if the monorails had bathrooms? I'm sorry. Let's not talk about it.
You know, they could have those emergency packs like the Skyliners do, just in case you get stuck up on the rail for an extended period of time.
Hold on.
Yeah?
I feel like this is a different kind of conversation for
Do you know about the Skyliner emergency packs?
No, that's why I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah, underneath the benches, they've got little packs. And actually, there was an issue when they first opened the Skyliner. People were like, because they're zip tied, people were cutting into them to see what was into them or what was in the packs. And of course, because we're terrible. And that's what people do.
I also thought you were drawing out the intro a little bit so I could finish stuffing my face. I was eating a guava and cheese pastry. It was very delicious.
Yeah, I know. I'm just jealous, really. And because it did look delicious, but...
It really was.
Yeah, You eat a bunch of those, and then you might need a Skyliner emergency pack if you get stuck up in the sky and you have to figure out what to do. But, you know, that reminds me of our next co-host, because in those situations, you'd have to figure out, like, how am I going to, get myself in position to use one of these emergency bioevacuation kits? It's easier if you're not wearing pants, and our third co-host typically isn't. So let's welcome him in. Landon the Dawsdone, welcome back to the monorail. Are you wearing pants today?
In honor of 90-year-old Donald Duck, you know I'm not wearing pants. And hearing what Stephers does in the monorail, that explains some... Hi, everybody. Coming to you from the Isolation Station Club. It's me. It's the DOZ, Landon the Dawsdone, and it's a Monday morning. You know what that means. Happy birthday, Donald.
That's right. It's Donald Duck's birthday. One of the Fab Five, one of the Sensational Six, I guess now. Donald... he's stuck to his guns about the whole not wearing pants thing his whole career.
He has.
You got to give that to him. Yeah.
And it's even more impressive if you think of the politically correct era we now currently live in. You would think that somebody would enforce pants upon this fouled individual.
Well, but if he did start wearing pants at some point, we'd have to hear Tucker Carlson say he wanted the sexy Donald back, and we'd all feel really uncomfortable about it.
I liked Donald when he didn't have pants on. And now Walt Disney is trying to take away my sexy duck.
Does anyone wear pants?
Yeah, Mickey wears pants.
Some?
I mean, he wears shorts. Pants. Goofy wears pants.
Hold on.
Yes.
No, I'm visualizing. You're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just, like, in my brain, I'm like, how come we're not equal opportunity?
A skirt.
Yeah.
No, yeah. No, I figured the girls do. I just meant the guys.
Yeah.
Pluto
doesn't.
Pluto doesn't. He wears a collar because he's a dog.
Pluto goes all natural. Yeah, it's always so confusing.
Let's not think about it.
There's holes in the plot. It's okay though.
Yeah, we'll never really know what makes Goofy somehow more
he can talk.
intelligent or sentient than. Well, Pluto can too, kind of. He communicates. Anyway,
go horse. I'm better than you.
Yeah, I feel like, but also Goofy. Like, can I say this word on the? Goofy had a child, so like. I was going to say a different word, and I realized I probably shouldn't. So, I don't know. There's holes in the plot, but that's okay. That's not the point of today. Happy birthday, Donald. We love you. And your little angry
back to Donald.
face.
It is his birthday. Hey, and while we're talking...
Yeah, we really lost the plot there for a second.
While we're talking about birthdays and anniversaries, a quick shout out to our good friends Tom and Michelle at the Hyperion Adventures podcast. They actually have released their 6th anniversary episode just this Sunday, yesterday, if you're listening on Monday. So happy 6th anniversary, podcasting anniversary.
Happy 6th anniversary. We love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, so Tom and Michelle, just like the Dillos, kind of started doing their thing around the same time we did. It's kind of funny. We've all been in this thing together for about the same amount of time, even though maybe we took a little break, did a few things different. But, yeah, we're all in this together. Thanks, Stephers. Good school musical reference.
High School Musical is my jam. Not was, is my jam. So,
I mean,
you're welcome.
Yeah, much like my identity is not wearing pants and wearing sailor hats in honor of Donald Duck, Stephers' identity is High School Musical. So, you know, we are who we are.
I did the dance for my graduation from 5th grade.
Wow.
Of course you did.
I'm not sure what the tone was there. That sounded a little bit like judgment, but you know, I'm gonna let it slide.
No judgment,
Donald's
just more just me, Mr. Stark. I don't feel so good as I slowly turned to dust, realizing you were age appropriate to do that in the 5th grade.
It was more us realizing our age, Stephers.
Yeah,
I'm turning 29 in 2 months from today.
Wow.
Actually,
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
It's so fun. Oh, the show comes out on the what's today? Sunday, right? Yeah, the show comes out on the 10th. It's literally 2 months before my birthday. Look at me go.
Stephers, stop trying to steal Donald Duck's thunder. Today is Donald's birthday. Well, yesterday was Donald's birthday.
Whatever.
And
we're celebrating it all month long.
She can't steal his thunder. He doesn't wear pants. He's proudly showing off his thunder all the time.
He brings the thunder.
That's so true.
Yep. And guess what? We're going to bring the thunder right now because, as I mentioned, we got a big show today, a lot to get to. It's time to dive into the news. That's right, dreamers. We're back again with the headlines from all of the Central Florida theme parks, and we're serving them up on a silver platter to you. We're going to start with Walt Disney World news. You know, something we used to do a little more frequently was we talked about refurbishment schedules, refurbishment timelines. So as we get into June, it is now the 10th. Also, again, happy Pride Month. I just wanted to share a couple of things to make you aware if you happen to be traveling to Disney, challenged with traveling to Disney in the next.
It is a challenge, but you know what?
It sure
you
is,
ride the best ride in Central Florida when you travel.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later.
That's true. But I'm challenged to even speak correctly, but we're going to try. But I like to give people a heads up about what may be open or closed while they're at the parks sometimes. And one of the things that actually made me want to do this today was we've got a couple of things sort of like hanging out there over us that we're not sure exactly when they're going to close, but we know it's going to happen sometime soon. For example, in Animal Kingdom, Dinosaur. We know Dinosaur is going to close. We don't know when. I recently rode Dinosaur because I was like, it could be announced that it's going to close in 2 weeks, and then I will not have gotten a chance to do my last ride on Dinosaur. So I did it. But sooner or later, that ride is going to close as Animal Kingdom looks to overhaul Dino Land into tropical America. So if you're traveling to Disney soon and you want to get that last ride in on Dinosaur, go see Felicia Rashad and Dr. Seeker. You better go do it because you never know. It might close before you know it. Extinction level event for Dinosaur incoming.
What was the state of Dinosaur on your, what may be the last ride through on Dinosaur? Because I know I've gone on some rides of Dinosaur where just animatronics decided to take the day off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not perfect, but honestly, I thought it was a little better than it had been. To me, most of the effects seem to be working, but you can tell that they're basically, I think, sort of doing the bare minimum to keep it passable right now. It's not going to get a total, like, refurb or upgrade at this point. So it's still rideable and you still get like a lot of the good stuff. But yeah, some of it's a little iffy. The other thing that I wanted to mention also is It's Tough to Be a Bug, the 3D show. Now, this is, of course, if you don't mind spiders dropping on your head and being stung in the back by wasp or whatever it is that they yellow jackets. It's Tough to Be a Bug, the 3D show Under the Tree of Life will be closing at some point because that's getting an overhaul as well and will be replaced by Zootopia. So a couple things to keep in mind in Animal Kingdom. In Magic Kingdom, the Country Bear Musical Jamboree is still closed. We don't have an opening date yet for it, but it will be coming back pretty soon, we think. Probably a little bit after Tiana has her moment in the sunshine, and then we'll get the Country Bear Musical Jamboree. The Hall of Presidents is actually closed. If you're at the Magic Kingdom today, it's closed on June 9th and 10th, but it should be back. And then Tiana's Bayou Adventure officially opens June 28th. Hopping over to Epcot, Communicore Hall and Plaza opens June 10th. Today, it is officially open, the brand new Communicore Hall, which is very, very exciting. I can't wait to get over there and see it myself. The walls were down. We were texting this week in our group chat. Stephers was excited. Walls were down. I was excited. Walls were down. Walls were coming down everywhere. But the walls are down at Communicore Hall. People are getting previews of the place. It looks great. I'm excited to get in there. And then the other thing to mention just this week, actually, Reflections of China will be closed June 13th for a brief refurb. On the 17th, so a week from today, Test Track closes for its big refurb. Now, who knows how long it's going to be down? We know we're getting Test Track 3.0, so that could be...
Is that what's happening now?
Yeah. Yeah, they're closing it on the 17th.
Oh, pour one out for Test Track.
Yeah, so this is...
I think that's going to be down
sponsored by Chevy or
long while.
whoever.
Yeah, sponsored by Chevrolet. Yeah, pour one out. Go get your last rides on Test Track. Take your last loops. If you love Tron Track, some people do. It's not my favorite version, so I'm excited for what's coming next. But it's a good ride either way, and it'll be... Something will be missing there while Test Track is down. So heads up there. And then in Hollywood Studios, Rock and Roller Coaster's reopening July 27th. Voyage of the Little Mermaid will reopen in the fall, finally, coming back.
I completely forgot that was a thing. It's been out so long.
I was certain that it was going to get replaced. Like, I was 100% sure. So I'm a little surprised, but it's coming back in a new form. They've revamped the show a little bit, changed some of the effects and things. So I'm excited to see it when it comes back. But yeah, that'll happen in the fall. And those are the big things. Those are the big things for now. So just a little heads up about what is either upcoming or closing soon. And speaking of upcoming, coming back after a long vacation, here's something that I thought was never going to come back because it didn't go totally well the first time, but I think it did get better as it sort of went on through its first run. We got confirmation officially that Disney Jollywood Nights will return this year. Now, I'm referencing an article from blogmickey.com, and what gives us the hint, and we know that this is happening, is Disney has begun casting for the stage shows for Disney's Jollywood Nights event this year, and this is really the first sign that it's coming back from the dead. I don't think, I mean, me personally, I felt strongly that it would. I don't think that anyone thought this was going to be like a 1-year thing, but it did have a lot of technical problems last year, especially early on. So I guess there was some question. My hope is that I'll get to go try this out this year. Were you surprised, Lena? Were you surprised, or did you think Jollywood Nights might not come back?
I always thought Jollywood Nights would come back because, like you talked about, it definitely had a very rough start. And the first couple nights, it was mostly, if not all, negative reviews we saw online. Of course, it was online, and what's online isn't real life. But it did seem to iron out some of what went wrong
The hiccups.
the first couple of nights as it went on, and it did seem to be more positively received as Jollywood Nights' initial run went on. So I always thought it would come back, and plus that thing made a lot of money for Disney, so there is no way that Disney was going to not do that again, especially knowing what to do, or more accurately, what not to do going forward when it came to Jollywood.
Yeah. I think, it was a brand new thing, a whole new after hours event. And of course there were going to be hiccups because there always are with this sort of thing. But yes, Stephers, you had a thought. You looked
I
like
was
you
singing
were
a whole new world.
A whole new
world because you said that's fine. Don't mind me.
Sorry, I didn't get the reference. I can't read lips.
It's okay. That's all right.
But yeah, anyways, I had a strong, inclination. Disney was going to tweak this. They make big money on their after hours things, so
yeah, they do.
It was never just going to go away.
I hate to bring up this very sore subject, but after the Star Cruiser, that's what it was called, right?
Yeah.
After the whole Star Cruiser thing, and despite the reviews and despite the ups and downs or whatever, they really kept that going for a decent amount. So I didn't think that this would be a one-off. I definitely think that they're going to try to do everything they can, more or less, with some paring down maybe, but I do think that they're just going to keep trying iterations of it until they hopefully iron it out, and then when or if they decide they can't iron it out, then we'll look for something new.
Yeah
But
absolutely.
And to your point, Jay, they make a lot of money with their after hours events, and at absolute worst, they could just be like, hey, we're going to keep Hollywood studios open for a handful of nights, and we'll have Christmas cookies, and people will still show up and pay $159 a head to get in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So at the very least, tweak, adjust, bring it back, maybe even call it something different. But yeah, we knew they were probably going to keep doing this. So anyway, I'm excited. I am going to try to do that event this year. I think that's my holiday after hour ticketed event that I'm going to try to do at Disney World this year. And I'm excited because there's a lot of aspects of it that to me looked really cool. So,
Oh, most definitely. And I'm curious how many nights of Jollywood they're going to offer, because if I remember correctly, there were only a handful of offerings last year. It didn't go super long.
Yeah, I want to say maybe at most 20. And maybe that's too many. It may have been more
as opposed to something like Very Merry, which goes a month and a half or something.
Yeah.
What doesn't go a month and a half at Disney?
Disney, I think next week kicks off Not So Scary. So
it's coming up real soon. Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited because, as we get closer to the holiday season, we'll start getting some teasers about what's to come. What, maybe what will come back for Jollywood, what will change. And I feel very positive that it's going to go much better this year. Speaking of teasers, we got our very first look this week at the guest rooms and opening date for the Island Tower at the Polynesian Resort. So this was our first look at the detail of some of these DVC rooms. And as you can imagine, the internet 100% agreed. We all love them. No, of course that didn't happen. People were like, where's the color? It looks too bland. People will find every little possible angle to complain about anything that Disney does. It is sometimes exhausting. I look at these rooms. I think they look nice and fresh and modern, and they, to me, still have a Polynesian flair to them. I think they look gorgeous, personally.
Yeah. I watched I think it's like a 7.5 minute video they put out looking at a couple of the rooms, one that sleeps 5, one that sleeps 4. And I think they're very nice looking rooms. My only complaint is in the room that sleeps 5, one of the beds, you fold it out from underneath the TV, and it looks like a bed big enough for a medium to large size dog.
Yeah. So they do that. A lot of the DVC studio rooms do that. So the Animal Kingdom Lodge, I think, has rooms like that, and I think they have them at Beach Club too. So yeah, it's Those are beds for children. They look like what you'd see on a cruise ship. Like sometimes you get those fold down beds on a cruise ship. So it's just another way to
and yeah, obviously that is for children. But when I saw her like pull down a panel from underneath the TV, it's like, and this is a bed. I'm like, no, it's not. Zoe sleeps on something bigger than that in my place.
Yeah. I know. They are tiny. They're kind of cute though. Like if I was a kid, I'd want to sleep in the Hideaway bed.
Oh, 1000%. Yeah. Yeah. If I was little Landon and didn't have constant back pain and my knees crack whenever I get out of my adult's bed, I would definitely want to sleep on that.
Yeah. One of the things to mention, I didn't realize this, but as a first of its kind feature in the deluxe studios that sleep up to 4, they include a dishwasher, which was not a feature in the other studios, the DVC studios. So, I mean, because usually you have like a kitchenette. There's usually like a little stovetop and a sink and little refrigerator and all that stuff. But now these have a dishwasher. So that's pretty nice too.
Fancy.
Yeah. Pretty fancy stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know, because I don't follow this stuff as closely as someone like, let's say, Pixie Dust PhD, our friend Dr. Jacqueline, who is a DVC owner, and she follows the news of this stuff very closely. So I don't know if they've started selling these already, but I would imagine they have, considering it's opening.
The bottom of the article, I think they started last week.
They started the sales last week, or they started
bookings.
They started booking.
Oh, bookings. Sorry.
So they probably sold these way before, I would imagine, and now they start bookings June. So June 4th, Disney Vacation Club members were able to make rental reservations, and then all guests starting June 6th. Okay.
Go team.
Yeah, very cool. So anyway, if you're a DVC owner, or, there's always the option of renting DVC points and staying in DVC rooms. If you've never done that before, it's a pretty easy process, and there's websites that will facilitate exchanging your dollars for DVC points, and then you get to go stay as if you are a DVC member in these rooms. And it's pretty nice because I think that a lot of times you can come out ahead, depending on like what the price is for like a standard room at the Poly. You may be able to rent points and stay in one of these studios for like a decent amount less. So it's something to explore for sure.
When I check in, will they say welcome home?
They do. Yeah.
Oh man! All right, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. When the person who hosted that video said "Welcome home" and then ended it with "and welcome home," that really tugged at the heartstrings. Like, yeah, Disney, I want to join the DVC now. Though, of course, if you listen back a couple episodes ago, when I took the Lotus down there and we ate at Topolino's, she was very much interested in DVC. So who knows how long I'm going to be able to keep that beast at bay.
Hey, but good for you if that happens, because I'm sure you will reap some benefits.
I will definitely be reaping those benefits.
So that's pretty awesome. And maybe you'll be the person who finally gets me into the Top of the World Lounge over at Bay Lake Tower, because nobody wants to take me.
Only if you're good.
I'll be good. Maybe.
Okay, all right. Because I don't want to be the one that gets accused of bringing in the riffraff now that I'm a possible DVC.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, look, I do have that reputation, but I'll be on my best behavior.
Okay. All right.
So I'm going to wrap up the Disney talk today with our favorite subject, which is, of course, food. And we've got an article from wdwmagic.com. New menu items coming to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Docking Bay 7 at Walt Disney World. Just a couple of things here. One of them is a Flushian falafel and hummus garden spread. Now,
Can you say that one more time?
I don't think I could.
Oh, man. I like the way you said it.
This dish features chickpea falafel, roasted beet, hummus, and beet tomato cucumber relish, all topped with garlic toum sauce and served with grilled pita. It looks delicious, and I would definitely try it. It appears to be a veggie-based entree, and that's always good when we have some veggie-based options for those who are looking for something meatless when they go to the parks. And then the other thing we're getting is Black Spire Mousse. This dessert combines white chocolate Jogan fruit mousse with a brownie pistachio brittle base. It comes with blue milk sauce, pineapple cream, and hibiscus sponge, all topped with chocolate black spire coin. It actually, to me, looked like a steamed bun. Like, if you just look at the picture of it, I thought, I was like, oh, it's like
I could see that.
It's a steamed bun. No, it's actually a dessert. And that's something, I'd like to try both of these things. The main reason I wanted to talk about this today is just, I always love giving a plug to the food options in Galaxy's Edge. I think that of all the things people complain about when they talk about Batuu and Star Wars Land, I think that for the most part, Disney hit a home run with the food options over there. I know that like the food is sort of lacking, especially now in Oga's, but Docking Bay 7 is great. And who doesn't love Ronto Roasters? It's good stuff. So I am excited. I like that they're bringing in some interesting options. And I love how they try their best to make it look spacey as well, the way they serve these up.
Yeah, the falafel and hummus spread is a very unique looking dish. And I know, you're not supposed to eat with your eyes, but to this podcaster in particular, I think it may have gone a little bit too unique. I mean, there's some stuff in this that would keep me away, but I mean, like just looking, that does not look super appetizing to me.
That's funny. I think it looks
their
great.
Own. I am a meat and taters kid, so there is. But you also bring up the food situation in Oga's.
Yeah.
Like, holy smokes, is that like pathetic? Now, granted, and this is more of a Oga's conversation we might not have the time to get into. Maybe they don't want people posting up in there for hours on end. They want you to get in, get your drinks, 45 minutes to an hour, and get out. Maybe that's why the food options are so limited or non-existent in Oga's. I know they have the space charcuterie board or whatever they're calling it, but I mean, like, for the price point and the experience you're wanting, and the price point you're paying for Oga's, the food option is just so pathetic.
Yeah. They could definitely offer up a couple small plates that, give us, hey, we can't get ribs in Nomad anymore. Give us some like shock ribs or something, just
Wampa ribs.
Yeah, something that maybe looks like it came out of the Flintstones, like one big rib or something, or get just something interesting.
Wings. I mean, what was the things that came after Chewie and Han in Empire when they were walking around outside the Falcon?
Mynock.
Mynock wings.
Yeah.
Boom. There, Disney. Are you listening?
Yeah. That would be good. Anything like that would be good. And maybe you're right. Maybe it has to do with the fact that they're trying to make sure people don't stay too long, and some of that, it would take time to make that food, and then people would be hanging out. But still, I think all of us wanted
money.
They'd be spending money, and I think all of us wanted something a little more from that Oga's experience than what we're
very true
getting
even
now.
Just past the food experience, and I've been in Oga's a handful of times. I really can't think of a time where they like broke out the stopwatch and said, "All right, you got to get out." Oh, has that happened to y'all?
Yes, it has. Now I've gone probably a little more frequently than both of you. Humble brag. But yeah, there have been a couple times where specifically I've had my bartender or server say, okay, we're coming up on, 45 minutes. Do you want a drink to go or whatever? Yeah.
Wow.
It has happened.
Huh.
Okay. And one of the times it happened to me, I will say, I didn't think it was that busy in there. And I'm like, there's room. It's not like, and nowadays, even though sometimes, actually, it's not really hard to get an Oga's reservation anymore, but, even on days where the park's busy, you can walk up usually and get on the list for standby. So yeah, I'm not totally sure they need that 45-minute limit anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't think they need it either. And like I haven't been down to Oga's as many times as you, apparently. Rub it in, why don't you? But I mean, I've been successful walking up and getting a reservation. Just be like, hey, can I put my name on the list? How long's the wait? Like 20 minutes. All right, cool. Well, I'll get you text here in oh, wait, nope, y'all just texted me. And it's less than 20 minutes. I really don't understand why they still have the limitations. Now, I understand when it first opened and it was one of the hottest ADRs to get. Totally understand that. You want to turn those tables over as fast as you can so you can get more people in there and get them spending money.
Yeah.
But now I don't know if Oga's is as hotly contested as it once was.
No, it's not. You're right.
Frankly, I think it's kind of over.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a sucker for the Oga's experience. Like, I know it. I just finished saying that it's not exactly what we all wanted, but I still, when I'm in there, I still feel like I'm getting a immersive Star Wars experience. It's fun now that sometimes the stormtroopers will walk through, because I always thought there would be more character interaction in Oga's.
Oh, see, I've never experienced any of that.
I love DJ Rex. I think some of the drinks are good. So it's just, I think we were promised more than we got. And that's
and some of the drinks are good, but speaking on the drink, some of the elements have been eliminated. Like the dry ice is gone. What is it out of the Bespin Fizz?
No,
I was there, it was.
That's weird. They still do it. They're still doing dry ice. You went on like a Oga's Light Day or something. They were like,
yeah. Apparently, the day that I went to Oga's, it was on B mode.
Yeah, because they have a machine actually, because they've got these special plastic cups.
Yeah, and I've seen it before, and I even put it in the Monorail fam Discord. I'm like, am I like getting a Bernstein Bears situation? It's like, y'all remember when this had dry ice in it, right? And it like.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, I just went on an off day.
I think so. Yeah, because they're definitely. I went there maybe 3 weeks ago, and they were doing the dry ice stuff. So
okay, all right, good deal.
But they've switched out like some of the beers, which is fine. That's like a seasonal thing. But definitely the big changes have been the food. And when Oga's first opened, there actually were like more food options and stuff, and all that stuff's just been removed.
Wasn't there like a? Well, there still might be like a pork rinds option.
Yes. So I think they put the pork rinds. There's like I think one of them's called Batu Bits, and you get like freeze dried foods, and I think there are pork rinds on that plate. If you get the charcuterie, you get Spam, which is fun.
Yeah, that blew my mind when I was like, these Stephers just served me Spam, and I'm paying how much for it?
Yeah. But anyway, we could do, and probably certainly will at some point, do a Oga's deep dive and maybe talk all about the history.
Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to make us lose the plot on
that. Oh,
that
that's
one.
okay. That's all right.
We can proceed to Across the Universal with Stephers.
That's okay. I don't mind chatting about it, because that's why I put it in the notes. But I think
just work here.
Mainly shining a light on if you are a person. So I'll say this, Landon, you're a picky eater. So
yes.
But there are still things at Docking Bay 7 that you enjoy, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Okay.
I enjoy the menu at Docking Bay 7 because to a point you said earlier, it is a more out there menu. But me being a picky eater, I already said I'm a meat and taters guy, body built by chicken nuggets. There is still stuff on that menu that I can eat and enjoy.
Yeah,
it's still good. Good.
They've got stuff.
Ronto wraps rule.
They're
not available. Well, Ronto wraps are available after Ronto roast closes. So there's that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anyway, if you look at Docking Bay 7 and you're like, that menu's a bit intimidating because they call things weird names or it looks weird, I'll just say be somewhat open-minded, because they have some things that are a little more approachable if you are a picky eater. But if you like variety and unique foods, then those are an option at Docking Bay 7, and that's always cool. If not, you can go to Backlot Express and have a burger or chicken tendies, and you'll be fine.
Yep, and get your Wookiee cookie.
Get your Wookiee Ookie cookie. All right. I think now it's time to go across the Universal with Stephers. Let's do it.
Now it's time. Okay.
It's time to go across the Universal with Stephers. So Stephers, what have we got? What have we got?
We have so much, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like so many newses.
Newses.
Yes, I said newses because
so many newsies.
Let's not talk about it. I'm actually gonna end with the first thing on our list.
What is this, Memento?
Bless you.
We're working our way backwards. Okay.
Something. I'm trying to think of what I wanted to. I'm going to start with this preview center thing, actually. So the walls. Speaking of walls going down, the Epic Universe Preview Center. You can see the facade now, and it looks pretty legit. They also launched an app for the Preview Center. It utilizes AR. Is that what it's called? AR?
Yeah.
Yeah, augmented reality. My brain had to deduce what we were talking about. I try. And the app will be helpful for clarifying details like which dining locations are quick service, among other things. So really excited to kind of let Justin go in there and play around with that because I won't be there.
I don't have an iPhone, so
it's on iPhone and Android.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Don't you worry. You
Good.
can, I guess you can scan the different things on the plan. What's it called? That 3D plan thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll give you more information about the rides and stuff like that.
Nice.
So I thought that was cool, and I just kind of wanted to share that tidbit. They also released information about the Passholder viewing areas for the Universal Mega Movie Parade, as well as the Cinesational, a symphonic spectacular. Really, too many
Sibilance.
You know what I'm saying? So Cinesational, a symphonic spectacular, debuts on June 14th. Pass holders can enjoy Cinesational Symphonic Spectacular from an exclusive viewing area located at Central Park in Universal Studios. Space is limited, first come, first serve, all that jazz. So you can look on the app for that if you don't know where that is. And then for the Universal Mega Movie Parade, there's an exclusive viewing area in front of Mel's Drive-In. I almost said Die-In.
Die-In, yeah.
At Universal Studios, and that debuts July 3rd.
Perfect.
And the password viewing area is from July 3rd to the 10th for now.
Yeah,
So.
I wonder how full that's going to be. Like, I wonder if people
a lot of people are going to know about it.
Yeah, because they haven't really advertised it that much, but there are a bunch of nerds like us who go and like dig into this stuff. So I don't know. Like I won't be able to. So this coming weekend, of course, is Father's Day weekend. I'm not going to be able to go check out the Cinesational this weekend, but I'm thinking maybe the 21st or 23rd or maybe the 28th, 30th, I'll go. And I do want to see if I can get myself a good spot in that pass holder viewing area. So again, I'll be a guinea pig and I'll go try this out. You know, I'll suffer and do it. I'll do it for you guys.
You sound so heartbroken about it. Unbelievable. Anyway, the next couple things are really just random things I wanted to bring up on the show, mostly because I said I was going to and because I can. So someone in our Monorail fam Discord shared a tweet from someone in the Universal community that said that they stumbled upon a blog where they listed Cletus's Chicken Shack from Simpsons Fast Food Boulevard as one of the best chicken places in Orlando.
Yeah.
And my response to that is that's going on next year's March Madness bracket.
Yeah. I think that's more of a statement about fried chicken in Orlando than it is anything else.
Listen, me and Justin went to one chicken place, Huey Magoo's.
Huey Magoo's, yeah.
It's called. It was quality.
Huey,
chicken.
hold on,
I
hold on.
enjoyed it.
It's called Huey Magoo's.
Huey Magoo, like Mr. Magoo.
Magoo.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes it better.
No. But
It was pretty good.
It's a chicken tendy place, and it's. I think they're good. They say they're the filet mignon of chicken tenders. They are pretty good.
I want to go that far. Whatever. There is a really cute butterbeer cart popcorn bucket. So if you are a popcorn bucket collector and a Harry Potter fan, that's something you should check out in the parks if they're still available. Last time I saw, my creator friends still were posting them. And the most important piece of Universal news you will ever hear me say is Botanicus at the ET Adventure has received a new light-up cape.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like a giant leaf.
Botanicus got a glow up. Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not mad about it. This just makes me happy. Anything to deal with ET makes me happy. And I will not be taking any questions, comments, or concerns.
Botanicus, think of Huey Magoo's.
I don't think he eats chicken.
Eat
all right.
more chicken.
Exactly.
Now it just sounds like we're shilling for Chick-fil-A.
Anyway,
Beef. Good.
as we all know, this month is Pride Month. And we also love talking about food. So Universal also has offerings for Pride Month.
They do.
And through August, 100% of the profits of the Love is Universal merchandise collection will also be donated to a local nonprofit organization that supports and engages the LGBTQIA plus community. Aw, I love that.
That's amazing.
Didn't know that. I think I maybe heard something about it. So there are various offerings. Cowfish has a Pride roll. Toothsome Chocolate Emporium and Savory Feast Kitchen has a Pride smoothie. interested to see how that tastes. I don't know if I've ever had a smoothie from Toothsome, but anyway. Today Cafe has a Pride sandwich, and if y'all know, I love the Today Cafe. So if anyone tries that, please let me know. At Volcano Bay, they have a Pride Sundae. Sounds delish. At Universal Studios, they have rainbow cookies at the San Francisco Pastry Company. And they also have rainbow cookies at the Crescent Moon Bakery in Islands of Adventure.
Croissant.
And Universal will also host Love is Universal Nights at the Red Coconut Club on Thursdays and Fridays throughout June. So check the app and the website for information on that. Look at them doing some Pride stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I do have two complaints. Number one, Universal, we love a foodie guide around here on the Monday Morning Monorail podcast, and you're going to have to step up your foodie guide game because I've got no pictures to look at with these foods. And Landon said you're not supposed to eat with your eyes. I think eating with your eyes is part of it. I love to eat with my eyes, and I want to see that Pride roll from Cowfish. I want to, I'm interested in the Pride sandwich. Is it does it have a rainbow color presentation? I don't know. The Pride Sundae from Volcano. I want to see this
Actually,
stuff.
I have a photo. I found a photo.
Okay. Well, I want to see it.
They just did it a couple days ago. The Sundae is giving, what's it called? Not a McFlurry. Like a parfait. The tall cups. Yeah, parfait.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's called. It looks like something. You know what I'm saying?
It looks like something. Profound words, profoundly.
I try. Oh, they don't have the roll. They only have the sundae from Volcano Bay.
Okay.
Well,
I'm going to go look at that.
Tried.
Oh, no, the sundae looks awesome. See, I would love to see that. But Universal should be releasing. Okay, this is a blog, Discover Universal. This is their official blog. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. And they put this out on the 4th. All right. I take a little bit of it back, but I want to see every one of these.
No, they need a more comprehensive guide.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Step it up, Universal.
Wait, what was your second thing?
The second thing was I don't like that you never know on a given day if the Red Coconut Club is going to be open or closed because they're having a private event. I know that
That's
use
very
it.
Fair.
They use it a lot for private parties and corporate events and stuff. So I think the Red Coconut Club is a great way to end your night at Universal, especially after a Mardi Gras day ending up at the Voodoo Club or whatever they call it, and then the Dead Coconut Club during Halloween Horror Night season. But you don't know if you're going to be able to do it because it might be closed. So that's my other complaint. The end.
The end. And scene. Speaking of Halloween Horror Nights, so what a great segue. Thanks for that little tee up there. We got another announcement. Actually, we got a few announcements. We got our first IP announcement, which is A Quiet Place. We're getting A Quiet Place 1 and 2 as a Wombo Combo house. Mm-hmm. Yes, I said Wombo Combo. It's fine.
She said the thing.
It's my gimmick. Make a sound and you won't last long. Monstrous creatures who can hear the slightest noise will hunt you down and silence you for good as the post-apocalyptic world comes to terrifying life. Things that I've heard is I'm interested to see if the house is going to be completely silent, how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I will say I have not seen the movies yet. It's on my list. I just haven't had a chance. But according to this Deadline article, they will be incorporating the use of American Sign Language for the first time ever within A Quiet Place haunted houses, which I know a decent amount of sign language, so I'm excited for that.
That's awesome.
Fans will relive iconic scenes from the first two films, including traveling through the farmhouse that serves as the Abbott family's shelter and stepping into the root cellar where Evelyn Abbott escapes to give birth. Oh my god, that scene is going to be in it!
Yeah, and actually they call you over and ask you to catch the baby. That's part of it.
Guests must remember, if they hear you, they will hunt you. I'm leaving that one alone. I think, that's all we've gotten for that so far in terms of IPs. I'm pretty sure after this episode drops, we'll get another announcement.
There's going to be announcements, yeah.
So make sure you stay tuned to our Instagram and our Twitter and all that stuff so you can keep up to date with that. Another thing that they have announced is if you're staying at Universal Orlando Resort, you get extra scares with your stay and exclusive perks. You'll have dedicated access. Hotel guests will be among the first to scream with special access to dedicated HHN entry gate each event night from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. You'll need your valid hotel room key and admission ticket required for the access. Free transportation, which you typically already get anyway. Drink in the spirit of Halloween. Get a taste of Halloween in festively themed lounges at Universal's Cabana Bay Beach Resort, Universal Aventura Hotel, and Universal's Endless Summer Resort, Dockside Inn and Suites. Oh, what about Surfside? Surfside's not going to do it?
Nope.
And they will feature Halloween-themed specialty drinks. And then there will be hotel-themed lobbies, no matter which hotel you choose during Halloween Horror Nights. Staying at the heart of the horror has its perks. Themed lobby experiences in select Universal Orlando hotels to themed photo opportunities wait for you in the different Universal Orlando hotel lobbies. And scene. Oh my gosh, I missed one very important thing.
What's that?
Yeah, you missed the part where it says murder babies will come into your room during the middle of the night and scare you.
That is not what I forgot. I forgot to mention
No, it's right there
that
in the notes.
the preview center has the merch for Dark Universe displayed in the window. Did you see that?
I saw
Did y'all
it.
see it?
I saw it. It looks cool.
It looks epic. I'm just saying.
I mean, we kind of jumped right by it, but of course the Epic Universe preview center walls coming down was one of the big things we were talking about in the group chat this week.
Yep.
And they've got the big screen going, and it's doing like a loop of the flyover, I think, of Celestial Park. And yeah, I can't wait. That place is going to be cool when that opens up. And I will not buy Epic Universe merch before I go to Epic Universe, but I am
I
excited.
wouldn't judge you.
I'm not doing it. Even though the
I
Dark
will
Universe stuff looks very cool, I'm not going to buy it ahead of time. But I did want to say...
to Jay walking out head to toe in Epic Universe.
I know.
Merch.
But I did want to say about the Quiet Place house, I'm so excited to see how they execute that, because after it was announced that as the first IP house of the year, it seemed like a lot of people who were involved in Halloween Horror Nights creative started tweeting out, and they were like, we're so excited for you to see this house. We're doing things in this house we've never done before. And it's really exciting to have this opportunity to go into a house where they're going to do something so unique with the sound design. And I'm curious too, like, is the idea going to be it's silent throughout? And if you have, I'm sure there's going to be things to make you jump. And if you scream, then you get descended on by the monsters. And that would be
lit.
Amazing.
I mean, in like a terrifying kind of way, but that would be lit.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I will, Landon, let's be real, you're not gonna go, so it doesn't matter what you
not.
like.
No, they have to, at least to me.
I wanted to also kind of just talk about the spec map for like 2 seconds, because I'm interested to know your thoughts on what you think they're going to announce first, because they still have a Universal Monsters house that we're gonna get.
Yeah.
So, do we think that will be the next IP they announce, or do we think we're going to get one of these? I mean, people are saying Ghostbusters.
I think there's
Insidious.
there's a very strong chance for Ghostbusters. I think coming off of Frozen Empire, Insidious. I've heard too. Yeah, I don't. I feel like they might pair the classic Monsters house with whenever they debut Dark Universe.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
that was my first thought.
Yeah. So I don't think necessarily. I guess that could be. It could be because we're coming up on like that length of time where they're about ready to announce one of the new portals, right? So it could be.
So
maybe this week, maybe next week. I don't know, but I don't know. I would love to. I think they ought to do Ghostbusters next because I think it's the most obvious choice. They've got Ghostbusters coming back in the parade. They've been hyping up but there's Ghostbusters stuff in the summer tribute store. We've got, Frozen Empire streaming now wherever you want to stream it. And so, yeah, I think maybe to me.
It just makes sense.
To me, it'd be a shock if we don't have Ghostbusters. And that being the case, since it's not that big of a surprise, why not just throw it out next? I don't know. That's my thinking, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. We will see. I'm so hype.
Me too. Is that all of Across the Universal?
That is all of the Across the Universal with Stephers.
All right. Well, because we are the official podcast of SeaWorld, we can't close up the news segment without mentioning SeaWorld Orlando. And I just want to say, I found out this week, and I was very, very honored as I was doing some Googling about our podcast to find out that according to Player FM, we are officially one of the best SeaWorld podcasts of 2024.
We're doing great. Thanks, guys. It's all thanks to your support.
So I took a screenshot for evidence. I posted it in the Facebook. I put it out on. I want people to see this as evidence. We've been doing the work. We say it every week. We're the official podcast of SeaWorld. I'm glad that we're finally getting the recognition we deserve. It feels good.
Downhill from here.
It feels good. SeaWorld, whether or not they want that or like it, it is official. But while we're talking about SeaWorld real quick, they are in the middle of their Latin festival, Viva La Musica. It actually kicked off Sunday, June the 2nd, and it will be going on every Saturday and Sunday for 5 weekends all through June. Every Sunday, Latin artists will perform 2 concerts in the Nautilus Theater, and the show you missed the first weekend was Sergio Vargas, and I'm not sure who's performing today as we record this, but you can purchase VIP or reserved seating, and you can also enjoy authentic cuisine from the Caribbean, Spain, and Central and South America, featuring dishes such as Nope. We're moving on. So anyway.
Now they're going to try it?
Bacalatos?
Oh, maybe we shouldn't try. Maybe we shouldn't.
I can say arepas. I can say arroz con pollo. I can't say, is it, Aurora will probably correct me. Is it Bacalatos? I don't know.
Hey, we got 2 out of 3. That's better than we normally do.
Yeah, so, that's true.
There's that.
I apologize to Aurora and Andre, my official. Anytime I'm trying to pronounce anything that's Spanish,
let's be real.
They have
all
to
of
correct
us are
me.
We try.
We try our best, and I think that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Google was not. Don't go to Google because she does not know how to not.
Google just sent back a question mark, shrug emoji.
Yeah, the shrug emoji.
She says it. Like, she just doesn't say it very well.
I didn't even know Siri knew how to do it.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up the news for today, and we have to wrap up the news because we've got such an exciting segment to round out the show today. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's time for another segment, another edition of M34D. Stay with us. Welcome back to the monorail. This is M34D. That is, of course, the Monday Morning Monorail Disney Deep Dive with the Dawes. We are continuing our series as we move through Epcot somewhat chronologically and talk about attractions from day one to today and tell the story and the history behind those attractions. Today's attraction is one that's been gone for just as long as the one that we talked about previously, which was, of course, Body Wars. And that's because it was in the same pavilion, over in the Wonders of Life pavilion, located just right beside it, practically right beside Body Wars. You could have gone into this particular attraction called Cranium Command. So, before we get into this, I have to do my traditional asking. Stephers, Landon, do you have any memory or any experience with Command? Both of you silent, so I'm assuming that answers.
Much like its neighbor in Body Wars, I'm going to have to say no. I never experienced Cranium Command personally, but much like Body Wars, I did my due diligence and homework for this assignment. So,
well, I appreciate that. Stephers, did you do any homework?
I did not do my homework. I'm opening every link right this very second.
Oh, Lord.
Well, no, you did post the photo, and the thing is, please do not yell at me, people of the internet. The Wonders of Life Pavilion, I remember Body Wars clearly, but I don't remember that pavilion. And according to the dates on the internet, This thing was open when I went to Disney World.
Yeah,
so, like,
a long time.
It's not like it wasn't a thing. So in my memory bank, absolutely do not remember, but clearly I have done it because there's no way in the world I did Body Wars and then skipped this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, clearly I did both.
You surely would have done it. It probably did not have any sort of weight when you were there. So,
what is that supposed to mean?
well, I just mean just like Body Wars. I mean, it wasn't one of those that was commanding like a 60-minute, 90-minute wait. So you could have just walked right in.
Listen here. Primeval World made a lasting impact. So did Body Wars. This little cranium command dude, he could have made an impact. Probably scared me, though. Chuck E. Cheese used to scare me, so this dude probably scared me, too.
Buzzy would not have scared you.
Oh, Buzzy was a friend.
Yeah, he's all cute and stuff.
Yeah,
People loved him so much they allegedly stole his clothes. So we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, quite an interesting adventure.
Like, honestly, before doing research for this edition of M34D, that was the most that I knew about Cranium Command, was the infamy surrounding Buzzy and the literal court case that came from this attraction.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, like, that's something we could definitely get into, but the whole, I think that a lot of this comes from a place that we all have inside of us, and it's why we do this M34D. We love the history and background and the detail and storytelling, everything that goes into these rides, and you have this sort of natural curiosity about, like, how do these things work? What does it look like behind the scenes? And so then you get on social media these accounts like Backdoor Disney, and you get people that do like urban exploring, and they break into like the Imagination Pavilion at night, and or just different things like that. There was a video of a guy, and I feel like I shouldn't even like mention it because it's probably going to send traffic.
We are not advocating this at all. But please proceed, Justin.
Yeah, but there was a video of a guy who like snuck into Expedition Everest after hours and was climbing around to go find the Yeti. I mean, he got caught, and first of all, extremely dangerous to do any of this stuff. You could hurt yourself.
Stupid too.
It's stupid, but also you could get arrested, banned for life from Disney, all that sort of thing.
Really hurt as well.
Really hurt, yeah. But yes, for whatever reason, someone was inspired to go behind the scenes in the Wonders of Life Pavilion at some point and take their liberties with Buzzy, we'll say. But that's the end of the story. Let's go back to the beginning of the story, which is this particular attraction opened October 19th, 1989, and it closed January 1st, 2007. Again, ran longer than even I thought it did. Because I would have, if you had asked me, I would have sworn it probably closed pre-2000. But it did start operating seasonally as of January 4th, 2024. And then during the 2007 International Food and Wine Festival, the entrance to this attraction was actually used as a wine presentation because they started using the whole Wonders of Life Pavilion as a festival pavilion. One of the things that was pretty cool about this was that there was a lot of talent that was involved in this attraction.
Oh yeah,
the
cast was stacked.
Yeah,
well, I mean, if you were a fan of '80s SNL, it was stacked.
Yeah, no kidding. It was like a who's who of '80s SNL. But just to give you sort of an overview of what that experience was like. So the setup was essentially you're being recruited, almost like you're being recruited into a special branch of the military. And the thing that makes this branch of the military special is that you are going to be enlisted to control some portion of the brain. And so you're, just like Body Wars, you're going to be shrunken down to a very small size because you'd have to be. And you're going to be almost like, if you think about Inside Out, kind of a similar concept. Although, Inside Out, of course, is like, responsible for all the little avatars are responsible for emotion. In this case, it's like the functions of the body, which would make it sort of the distinguishing characteristic of this ride. But our main hero is Buzzy. He's actually going to be the captain of this adventure, and we'll get to know him as we go. I thought it was pretty interesting to find out that the script for this ride, the show's script, was written by Jenny Tripp, who was a Disney feature animation writer, and it was directed by Jerry Reese, who not only directed other Disney film-based attractions, but also directed The Brave Little Toaster. So if that's a movie you've ever watched, he was involved in this. And then the pre-show itself was the first directing effort of Gary Trousdale and Kirk Wise, famous for later directing Beauty and the Beast and The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So, I mean, star-studded, top to bottom. Not just the not just the talent, like the cast, but like behind the camera as well. So I'm going to talk about the pre-show. In the pre-show, we get to meet General Knowledge, who was voiced by Corey Burton, who I think also had some credits to his name. You would know him as Ludwig. He actually voices Ludwig von Drake since 1987. And Dale and Zipper in Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, the White Rabbit and Mad Hatter in The House of the Mouse. I mean, this guy, as with a lot of voice actors, he has like a laundry list, a long list of credits to his name. But he started his career at the age of 17 under the stage name Corey Weinman. And he studied radio acting with Dawes Butler for 4 years and went on to work with nearly all the original Hollywood radio actors in the classic style radio dramas. So done a ton of work for Disney, but he was the voice of the General Knowledge. And he was your typical, what you would call like a drill sergeant, like sort of in the style of, if you think of like Full Metal Jacket, like, you know, exactly. Yeah. That's kind of the style of this drill sergeant. He's yelling at you. He's, you know, cutting you down.
Line soldier.
Yeah. You are the scum underneath my boot. That sort of guy. But what was pretty funny is there's some funny references in as he's giving you the overview of what you're being recruited for. And one of the things, as he's briefing us potential Cranium Commando troops on the mission, he says, our job is to pilot human brains and keep people out of trouble. And then he gives examples of different kinds of brains that we might. You
say this is funny. I think this is slander.
So the first one he mentions is a genius. So we get to see Albert Einstein, and then an example of a person who uses a brain who is maybe at the opposite end of the spectrum. And it's Jim Varney as Ernest P. Worrell.
How dare they? How dare they besmirch the glorious, glorious name of Ernest P. Yes, Ernest didn't exactly have the best brain, but what he lacked in brain, he made up for in heart. Ernest was a saint, y'all. Ernest could have wielded Mjolnir. That is how pure Ernest was. And also, this is probably the first and last time that Ernest and Einstein were ever mentioned together in the same sentence. But I, Landon the Dosdome, will not stand for the besmirchment of the good name of Ernest P. Worrell.
Yeah.
Let the record show. Let the record show.
Well, absolutely. I think it's fair to get on record with that. When I was reading about this, of course, this is a detail I didn't remember, but I knew this was going to be a trigger point for Landon. Using Ernest as an opposite example of a smart person.
How dare they? How dare they, sir?
It's true. But essentially, you know, we're going into training, we're going to learn, and we're being placed into one of the most difficult missions of all, which is, of course, going to be piloting a 12-year-old boy. And, you know,
that feels pretty accurate. I
was going to say, having the experience of at one point being a 12-year-old boy, I can say very, very true. That is a difficult time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Not fun.
I would have loved it if I had a buzzy up in my brain controlling the things that I was doing, because I don't want to be held responsible for any of that nonsense.
Yeah, looking back on the stuff that 12-year-old Landon did, I definitely could have used a buzzy because the Landon that was controlling my brain definitely did not make good decisions.
Right. So now we move into the show portion of the attraction, and the main show was in a 200-seat theater that was built to represent like you were inside of a human head, which is not really how it works for a brain. You're not just rattling around inside of the human head, but bear with us. That's how it works here. You had screens so you could see the outside world, so they were like where the eyes would be, and you could see what our 12-year-old boy was actually seeing out of his own eyes. And then you had our cute little animatronic Buzzy, who was sitting in a seat that was kind of on like a robot arm that was kind of right in the middle. He was up at the controls right in the middle of the eyes. He could turn around and talk to you, and then he could also like face forward. So, and the 12-year-old boy's name was Bobby, and so we were piloting Bobby. So Landon,
you're doing what to Bobby?
We're piloting Bobby.
Oh,
So you want to talk about some of the star-studded cast that we had representing the different body functions?
well, I'll do it off. I'll do the ones I can remember from memory because my my internet browser is currently not responding and/or crashing. But I know the left and right ventricle was Hans and Franz from SNL. And when I say Hans and Franz, so you mean like the actors are, playing characters similar? No, they were straight up playing Hans and Franz from SNL. I mean, like straight up copy paste their performance as the left and right ventricles of the heart. I know Charles Groban was playing the left part of the brain. Stop me if I'm incorrect on it.
You're good so far.
John Lovitz, who I love, was playing the right part of the brain.
Yeah.
Bobcat Goldthwait was he the stomach?
The adrenal gland, of course.
The adrenal glands. Yeah, that I knew that didn't sound, but I mean, like this was a pretty dang good cast.
Yeah.
I mean, like relative in the 80s and stuff like that. Not throwing any shade on any of the actors, but like John Lovitz is coming through like a Comic-Con type thing in Knoxville here in a couple months, and I'm actually thinking about going to see and get his autograph because I do love John Lovitz. But it's like, this was a strong cast, and I know I'm forgetting some people, and I would tell you who it is, but again, my Google Chrome has been not responding for the last 5 minutes. Come on, guys.
Okay, so I can help you because I've got it up here. We've got George Wendt played the hungry stomach. It's funny too, like if you ever listen to this, because you can find probably find videos of it, but also the audio, if you just want to hear the stripped out audio, is available out there on the internet. And I have to say, I actually thought that some of the voice actors were sound-alikes. I didn't know it was really those people, because you're like, oh, it sounds like George Wendt, but I don't know if that's really him. It really was him. So like Disney spared no expense for getting the acting cast put together for this. It's spared no expense. It's true. But yeah, it was good stuff. So of course you go through some like ups and downs, like interacting with a girl that he's he's got
crushing
a little,
on.
he's got a little crush
Crushing on to the point that he almost created some sort of chemical explosion in science class.
Yeah, that's true.
Never take your eye off the Bunsen burner, baby.
And this was edutainment as well. It wasn't just entertainment, it was edutainment, because part of it was talking about like if you skip breakfast, then you're not getting the energy that you need for the day. And then, how does...
was very upset saying it needed some food, like practically the entire show.
Yeah. Basically, George Wentz just asking for food the whole time.
It's like Brendan Fraser wants his coffee, George Wentz wants his food.
Yeah, but like every situation that Bobby ran into during the day, like you heard how it affected the different organs and different body functions and things like that. So it was all good stuff. And I still remember it as being very entertaining. I think it's something I honestly think people would enjoy it today. But
with upgraded graphics.
Yeah, upgrade some of the effects. Maybe you might have to upgrade some of the voice actors, but who knows? Like at this point, it's sort of a nice...
What are you talking about? Hans and Franz would go over like gangbusters in 2024, Jay.
I don't know that people would get that reference.
I don't know if people got the reference when the ride closed in 2007.
Yeah, well...
But it's like...
Can confirm.
You say people that you think would enjoy this. Like when I do research for M34D, if I haven't experienced an attraction, I'll go back and watch a ride through, because thankfully somebody has a full, like the minute you step into the queue to the moment you step off of the attraction, somebody has a like in 60 frames per second 1080p video of the attraction on YouTube. And sometimes I'll watch the attraction and be like, okay, yeah, I can see why this attraction is gone. I watched the video for Cranium Command, and I was like, I wanted to go down to Epcot and experience this for myself, because I thought this was a very cool show / attraction, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, maybe it would need some upgrades to be more, I guess, representative of 2024. But I would love for a modern day version of Cranium Command to be there in Epcot. I think this is one of the cooler attractions from yesteryear that we've covered on M34D. I think this was a super cool thing.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, if this attraction was still up, I think instead of the Discord or the Discord conversation we have of, is Inside Out going to take over Figment? I think we'd be having a conversation of, is Inside Out going to take over Cranium Command? Because this is practically Inside Out before it was called Inside Out.
Absolutely. And actually, shout out to one of our friends on Twitter, because they made that exact comment as well. And let me pull it up.
Did they?
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up right now, because that was like spot on, almost exactly. You're having parallel thinking to our friend.
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah, Chris Mazza on Twitter said, "I've always thought they should do something similar to this old attraction with the Inside Out characters." So,
Chris, we're best friends now. I'm going to meet you in the garage. We're going to do karate moves.
Yeah.
Is your favorite raptor, or is your favorite dinosaur Velociraptor too?
Yeah, it probably could be. And then I responded, "Seems like a no-brainer." Pun absolutely intended.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Well, so I didn't do a good job talking a little bit about the origin, so I'm going to take a step back here and just say a couple interesting fun facts about Cranium Command. This is from the Wikipedia. The attraction was the only fully surviving element from the original 1978 plans for Epcot Center's Life and Health Pavilion. Titled The Head Trip, which I feel like was not a good name, it was to share a theater space with a dentistry-themed show called Tooth Follies, another not good name. But the original concept was designed by legendary Imagineer Raleigh Crump. The stage and concept would be similar to the final incarnation, but with 3 animatronics dedicated to emotion, intellect, and the nervous system. And then the issue came down when Disney was unable to secure sponsorship for the host pavilion. So this was one of the reasons that the Wonders of Life Pavilion didn't come until 1989, so 7 years after Epcot opened. Michael Eisner, the Disney CEO at the time, secured MetLife to sponsor the Wonders of Life Pavilion and restart development. So at that time, Imagineer Steve Kirk replaced Crump on the project and basically worked to flesh out the head trip. It says this was partially inspired by the 1943 Walt Disney produced animated propaganda film Reason and Emotion. They explored the idea of transforming the concept into a parody of the Star Trek franchise, and the human head was to be represented as a bridge on a spaceship, much like Starship. I think you see that in the way it was executed. It feels like the whole idea is you've got a captain, and then all of these different, you've got your engineer, your weapons specialist, your pilots, all that, that you're communicating with, and then Buzzy would be your Captain Kirk sitting right there in the middle. So, did you guys ever see the film Meet Dave? You know that movie?
No, not familiar with that film.
So it's an Eddie Murphy movie. And isn't it like a similar thing, except it's a robot and there's all these little like Eddie Murphys that are piloting Dave?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember that, but I remember that. Look at me.
You know things, Stephers.
I do. Released in 2008.
Yeah.
So, I mean, inspiration? I think so.
Yeah, I think, it's, and they're not the first, it's not the first time that the whole idea of like having little things pilot, a brain or body or whatever has been used or thought of. And
continues to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, we got an Inside Out movie coming out this week. So.
Exactly. So it's sort of maybe a timeless concept, but, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think you're right. Like Landon, you said that I think it's still to this day would probably be something that people enjoyed and would like to see. I think really if the Wonders of Life Pavilion had survived, I think this would have been like one of the things that did survive. Like, I'm not totally sure about Body Wars because of Star Tours. I think that they might have tried to do something else with that, but yeah, I think that definitely this had staying
I mean,
power.
like Star Tours and Body Wars are so very similar, but I mean, like something like Cranium Command, the entire time I'm watching, it's like, this is so unique to anything that Disney has right now. Like, it's like, if I was planning a trip to Epcot tomorrow and I knew I had an opportunity to go experience Cranium Command, I would definitely make time to do so.
Yeah. Now, one thing we'll get into, it might be the next thing we talk about on M34D, is going to be the making of me, which I think, it's we're talking about star power involved in this. Martin Short was the host of the making of me. And because I'm sure you all don't remember that particular attraction either, It's going to be very interesting to talk about that and whether or not they could pull that off today, because, I mean, I think you can imagine what that attraction was about. And so, like, I guess bold move back in the day, but we're not there yet. We'll get to that when we get there. So let's now quickly just talk about where's Buzzy. So I've got
Definitely not at Robin Lopez's house.
I've got this article. This comes from Theme Park Tourist, Thursday, March 3rd, 2022. So a little over 2 years ago. When the Wonders of Life Pavilion at Epcot closed in 2007, a lot of the interior was left abandoned, which was kind of crazy. Like for years and years, just untouched. Nothing changed about it. Nothing stripped out. This included the two attractions that once called the pavilion home, Body Wars and Cranium Command. A lot can be said about the slow decline of the pavilion's popularity, but that remains a story for another time. The aforementioned Cranium Command attraction took up residence in the pavilion starting in '89 and offered guests an educational trip through the human brain. So, as we get into this story, what we find out is that basically Cranium Command left abandoned, fully intact behind closed doors. It remained the case for at least 10 years, and the only visitors Buzzy and General Knowledge got were urban explorers. In late 2018, some concerning rumors began to make rounds through the Disney community. According to Patrick Spikes, better known as Backdoor Disney, I mentioned that earlier, a popular Disney urban explorer, the Buzzy animatronic had been removed from the former attraction. Some were quick to speculate that it was more likely Disney cast members had relocated the animatronic. Other explorers pointed out that the hydraulic lines bolting Buzzy to his seat had been cut and leaked oil onto the floor. Whoever had taken the animatronic was not worried about leaving a mess behind. According to an Orange County police report, the animatronic's clothes had been missing for some time prior to the animatronic itself. The items reported as missing included a bomber jacket, a pair of headphones, and a green hat, worth totaling $6,000. Over $6,000. Must have been a nice bomber jacket.
Right?
Yeah. It was around this time Disney began pursuing Patrick Spikes, the first person to announce the missing Buzzy animatronic as a possible suspect. As it turned out, Spikes was a former employee at Disney World who grew a following online after posting backstage pictures. One of these images surfaced on Twitter, on his Twitter page 5 days before his arrest, and it was Buzzy's severed face, as if he was sending a message like a mob boss. It's speculated that Spikes also stole some props from Haunted Mansion and intended to return again to steal another full animatronic. So this is like, I think his hubris was his downfall, ultimately, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, there's definitely some taunting going on.
Yeah. Why would you go out and announce, hey, everybody, this is missing, if you were the person who made it happen?
Yeah. That does not make any sense. I mean, you started the rumors and you were the one that did it. Why would you bring it? It's like if you set a fire, why would you be like, hey guys, does anybody smell smoke?
Yeah. Go pull the alarm yourself and stand around going, I don't know what's happening. But anyway, it's got to be an ego thing. It has to just be an ego thing, I would imagine. Here's some trivia that I found on the Disney Fandom Wiki. Let's see if this is interesting stuff. The 2015 Pixar film Inside Out is thematically similar to the show in that they feature characters within an adolescent's mind, trying to help them through tough times. Pete Docter, who would later direct the film, animated part of the pre-show, where his head is also featured. There's a connection. Pete Docter was a connection to Cranium Command and Inside Out. The live-action heads in the pre-show film were mostly taken from people working at Disney. The first heads seen are those of directors Kirk Wise and Gary Trousdale. General Knowledge makes a brief voiceover cameo in the Walt Disney World Explorer, which is partly narrated by Corey Burton, who points himself out after he does his General Knowledge voice as he narrates Cranium Command slideshow in the application. So, that's Cranium Command. I miss it. I mean, this is one of those things that I do feel like it's classic Epcot. It's edutainment, and I miss that sort of thing being in the park. And I think that there would have been like a whole generation. Hey, if they had just left it all the same, we could have introduced our children and our children's children to Hans and Franz. And, you know, that would have been the gift that just kept on giving, in my opinion, because people need to know who Hans and Franz are. They want to pump you up.
Yes, they do.
Lizzo's looking for somebody to pump her up. It could have been Hans and Franz. Stephers shakes her head in dismay.
Oh, yes, 100%.
So that is Cranium Command, my friends, and that wraps up another edition of M34D. I haven't checked the list, but I would imagine that, it probably will be our next one on the list to do the making of me, which will be very fun.
Man, that's going to be a weird one to do.
If, thinking ahead to that, if there are people out there who experienced that attraction and have memories of it, and I just like to know how you felt about it at the time. Like, you're at Disney, you're with your family. Is this really? I don't know if I'm taking my kids to Disney.
Oh man, yeah. If you're with your mom and dad,
yeah. Do you want Disney to be the people that are bringing that conversation to the table? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Gosh, when a man loves a woman.
So, anyways, look forward to that. That'll be fun.
Well, now we know why Donald never wears pants.
Yeah, that's right.
Full circle.
And with that, we will wrap up another whole episode of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. Hey, a couple of reminders. We got a couple things going on. First of all, we are building up towards Living with the Landon. April 1st, 2025. Landon is raising money for the food bank, Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee, which makes sure or tries their best to make sure that children in East Tennessee don't go hungry. And we're doing several things to help that effort. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to have a website set up where you can go and click and it'll take you to the donations page. We will be launching a t-shirt as well, where we will funnel the proceeds to a Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee. And keep in mind that the day of April 1st, God bless, I'm running out of gas, guys. April 1st, 2025, we will be at Epcot doing a marathon, Living with the Land all day long. How many times can Landon ride Living with the Land? Who knows? But we're going to try to find out that day. And while we're there, we would love to be able to go live from the park and share that experience with those of you who can't make it out. The only way we can do that is if we get to 1,000 subscribers on the Monday Morning Monorail podcast YouTube. So please, if you haven't already done it, go subscribe and tell your friends, not just about this show, about the YouTube and about the fact that we're trying to do some good for kids in East Tennessee. The other thing I would tell you is we have a Facebook group that you can join. You can keep updated there because I'm sure we'll post the links there for all of our fundraising efforts and all of our shenanigans that are coming up. That's the Monday Morning Monorail Fam Facebook. We have a Discord where people are hanging out and chatting Disney all week long. And you can get links to everything that you want to find at morningmonorail.com. So that's the business. And now we get to all the fun stuff that Landon and Stephers are involved in. So, Stephers, what have you got going on your very own podcast?
My very own podcast. I don't have an episode coming out this week, so you have time to catch up. We are now 4 books in. We just finished last week we dropped the episode on the first book of the prequel, A Shadow in the Ember. Is pretty lit. That's funny. Shadow in the Ember. Anyway, you can go to Adventures with Stephers on Instagram and TikTok to follow my podcast if you like books, or if you just like me and you want to support me, that would also be very, very nice and helpful.
Yep.
Because, well, I'm not just theme parks, I also read.
Which is more than the rest of us do.
Yeah, I was going to say something else, but that's all I got for you. So yeah, Adventures with Stephers on Instagram and TikTok. You can follow me there if you want to talk theme parks or yell at me, or if you want to talk books, or if you want to talk gaming or something. They just announced a new Life is Strange game, so that's pretty lit. Also, they just posted media previews for the Epic Preview Center today, and they also just posted photos and videos of that.
Yeah.
So it's looking mighty fine.
I know. I actually, while you were just speaking about it, I found some up close pictures of some of the Dark Universe merch. And
you're not allowed to buy it.
I
yet.
know. I
You
won't.
gotta wait.
Not until I go.
Like I said, smash cut to Jay walking out head to toe in it.
I will say I don't know if you want to
Nothing
be able to say
sacred.
it. This Dark Universe bucket hat might be coming
That
home.
bucket
with me.
hat does look pretty. That might be the first bucket hat of my collection of bucket hats. Just saying. We'll see.
Landon's right.
Okay,
I'm
I
gonna
love
walk
you.
out.
You cannot pull off a bucket hat.
Hey, I can pull off whatever I want because I got that swag. I'm Zaddy Monorail over here, and don't you forget.
No, you're not.
I am.
No,
You don't get to decide.
It
All the
doesn't
people
work
decide.
when you say it.
It does,
only
too.
works when I say it.
Oh, it works when I say it.
It doesn't work when you
Owning it.
No, it works when I say it. It just, it scars the children when Justin says
Oh, forget about it. All right, let's cleanse
we
the
need
palate.
a Zaddy
with-
Monorail shirt. I'm just saying. Anyway, continue.
Landon, are you ready to sing your song?
All right, it's time for the monkey to dance. Landoz, please go. Don't, I'm the best. Landon, don't, not the rest. That's you're going to follow me 280 characters at a time. I also appear on the Phil Show, News Talk 98.7 WOKI radio station locally here in Knoxville, Tennessee, streaming 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at newstalk987.com. Also available in the iHeartRadio app and the News Talk 987 app as well. Also, Jay did mention we are building up towards Living with the Landon April 1st, 2025. I will be marathon riding Living with the Land, trying to find out how many times I can get myself on that attraction. And in doing so, raising money for Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee, with all money raised being earmarked for the Food for Kids program. Did you know that Second Harvest in the Food for Kids program currently feeds 18 counties in East Tennessee? 298 are the current numbers of schools participating in the Foods for Kids program, and 1.2 million number of meals are provided through the Foods for Kids program. That is what we're trying to raise some money for, so these kids in East Tennessee who need help getting fed can be fed. So anything you can provide helps immensely. We will be giving more information as we have it, but April 1st is our fundraiser. But before we get to the fundraiser, like Jay said, follow us on the YouTube channel so we can stream lived when we go do the dang thing down in Epcot on April 1st. Also, I want to announce I have a new podcast. It's called Chuggin' and Buggin'. It's where I listen to Stephers' podcasts, Sippin' and Bitchin', and I just react to it. So that's coming wherever you get your podcast.
You know, Landon, I actually thought you were serious for a second.
Me too.
And
No, I already have enough going on. I don't need another podcast. Are y'all on crack?
what I thought you were going to say, chugging and bugging, I thought you were going to like chug beers and listen to heavy metal or something. I was like, now this is a podcast I can get behind.
You cannot get behind me reading. Sir.
Stephers, I don't read.
Well, it's because he can't, Stephers.
I never learned to read. I can read foodie guides.
Maybe chugging and bugging will be coming.
No, of course,
because I already don't have enough going on.
Of course, I support you, Stephers. I just listen to music. I don't read. That's the problem. But
yeah, so coming soon, chugging and bugging. It's just going to be me and my Spotify playlist while I drink beer in the background and occasionally belch.
Actually, chugging and bugging, if you're going to listen to music, it'd be like 90s hip hop, I feel like, which would be awesome. That would be really fun. Chugging beers, listening to like Run DMC. That'd be good stuff.
I could get behind that.
Yeah, not bad. All right.
Podcast.
No, it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
I just still don't know if I have to bleep it or not, but I don't. Well,
yeah, you haven't yet. So
I haven't.
I start now.
I haven't, and I won't. But I still question it every time. Guys, guess what? This is Monday the 10th. Chicken butt, of course. Tomorrow is June 11th. Next Tuesday is the 18th, which is the third Tuesday of the month, which means that we should be doing a live Passholder lounge that evening. So put it on the calendar, mark it down.
I'm already exhausted.
Maybe we'll do chugging and bugging on Tuesday, June 18th. Bring your 90s hip hop and let's talk theme parks and tunes and drink beers. I think that'd be a fun way to do it. Until further notice, that's the plan. But until then, I would love all of you to check out our YouTube, check out our Facebook, tell your friends about us. Subscribe, do all the things. Also give us 5-star reviews on Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find it, any of your podcatchers. And if you don't do any of those things, just come back next week for another episode. And until then, thank a cast member, thank a team member, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.